Hello everybody, this is the Mothership here on Hofstra's account. He's sitting next to me, so it's not illegal. Welcome to Class UT sets from Dungeons. First of all, we are going to be showing the Necro set here in a moment, but these are all sets dropped in Dungeons that are full sets for classes. We're going to be showing you when to use them, when not to use them, and by the way, this covers all of the UT sets in Dungeons, not the ST sets. And after we show you when to use them, the stats, things like that, we're going to be showing a little bit of gameplay, just so you can sort of get a sense of like how far away you should stay from monsters, and pretty much how much you're going to get destroyed if you do try to use the Necro set. If you'd like to skip ahead to any of the other classes for a specific review, you can click on one of the annotations on the screen, and if you're on mobile, go ahead and look in the description because there are going to be links to jump ahead to points in the video. Now let's get it started with the Necro set. So, first of all, we are going to get started with the Staff of the Crystal Serpent on the Necro set from the Forbidden Jungle. The Staff of the Crystal Serpent is usually called the Pew Pew Staff by players because it's completely ineffective, but it shoots pew pews quickly. This has a slightly higher fire rate than the Staff of the Cosmic Hole and all other tiered staves, which have -10 compared to it, and it's got 0.4 more ranged than the tiered staves. It has about the same DPS and Godlands as a Tier 8 or Tier 9, so we're talking about like a Necrotic Arcana. It's pretty much bad anywhere else though, because any high def monster is going to absolutely destroy you while you're trying to use this. It is not recommended if you can get your hands on a Diabolic or anything like that. But if you're low level, go for it. The Cracked Crystal Skull is an AoE that is 1 square larger than most tiered skulls. It's got much lower damage though and a higher MP cost, so it's basically the opposite of the Shaitan Skull. It's useful on larger groups of low defense monsters, so we're thinking like a Spider Den here. Again, you will not be using this if you're on any maxed character usually. We're putting it on an 8/8 for demonstration purposes only, not recommended. The robe of the Tetelpotami, we call it the Spaghetti Robe because you cannot pronounce the name without, tripping all over your tongue. It's got no defense, and it adds a little more whiz and MP than tiered robes. It's horribly useless on maxed and unmaxed characters, but if you want the highest possible whiz, I mean, you can try it. Now for the ring, well, it's crap, don't use it! Pause the video here if you'd like to see the stats. Okay, so now we'll get started on the Sorcerer from the Mad Lab. Now this set is actually fairly common to see in the realm just because it is actually quite useful. So first off, we have the Conducting Wand. Now this wand does not hit multiple targets. It's kind of like the Sea Wand in that respect now, which makes it sort of obsolete sadly because it used to be one of the best. It's got lower range and lower average damage than the Wand of Recompense. But it's got a 20% increased fire rate, and +4 dexterity and 4 wisdom is kind of nice to have. It's good for lower defense monsters, such as boss chests or a crystal, and it's not really good in abysses or godlands simply due to its lack of piercing power. Now the Scepter of Fulmination is by far the best scepter in the game. If you have a tiered scepter and a Fulmi, you will always pick the Fulmi if you know what you're doing. So no doubt put this on if you have it. It slows enemies for 3 seconds. It's got slightly lower damage than the tier 6. However, the slow is incredibly useful for a sorcerer rushing. It's got lower MP cost and it hits 1 less target. The +2 attack is useful. Do not use the tiered scepter if you have Fulmi. That is a general rule among realm players. Now, the Mad Robe is usually a swap out used by pretty much everybody for the G-Sorc. It's pretty much a coin flip for which one you use, but I personally like the look of the Mad Robe better. It's got, it trades the 1 whiz of the G-Sorc for 2 vitality, and in my opinion, it's better since it gives us 5% fame bonus, and like I said, it looks pretty damn good. Now here we have the experimental ring. This ring across the board, you should probably use it if you don't have Pyras or UBHPs. It's good on most every class, and on the Sorcerer it is quite nice. It gives all around bonuses. The def is great, and the plus HP and MP work really well on the Sorcerer. It's also good on the Knight because of more stuns. Now, this entire set used together, you're basically going to be using it like you would use the Sorcerer generally, but it's also really effective in tombs. Anytime you're rushing, the slow will help you out a ton. This is a very recommended set if you're going to go the full set route. Pause the video here if you'd like to see the stats. Alright, so now we're on to the Trickster. This is one of my personal favorites, even though I've never actually gotten the Prism as a white bag drop, but I like watching Hoff play with it. So, we got the Spirit Dagger. This is a very common swap out for the Foul Malevolence, especially useful if you can get in close, because this dagger has 0.4 less range, but it does about 10 more damage on average than the Foul or the Amethyst Prism. I really recommend this one if you're on something that can get in, like a rogue can usually get in pretty close. I would not recommend it at 0.2 though, because it will get you killed. Now, the Ghostly Prism is very interesting and special. It's got 5 more MP usage than the T0, and it doesn't have a decoy. It gives off a little bomb that doesn't do much damage and does not count for Soulbound, but it's great for rushing if you don't want to, be bothered with holding a T0 on your Trickster. It also looks pretty cool. It kind of looks like the T5. The Spectral Armor is a very interesting armor in my opinion. It gives you a lot of stat bonuses for a little bit less defense than the other armors. It gives 3 less defense than the Hydra and 2 less than the Sea Silk. It gives speed, just like the Sea Silk does, 3 speed, as well as some damaging stats. The 3 attack sets it apart from the Hydra and Sea Silk's higher dexterities. Now, this is useful mostly on ranged classes. I recommend it on things such as a Quadded Archer, so that you can do just a ton of damage. Actually, the highest projectile, or the highest damaging projectile in the game would be that. It's not so great on dagger classes though, because you have to get in a little bit closer. Now, the Captain's Ring, it's an okay ring. I mean, it really pairs up nicely with the set, going with the idea of stats over defense, since it doesn't give any defense and very little HP. It's not bad overall, but I'd really recommend that you use something on your Trickster, such as a UBHP, or if you have it, a Pyra, or something along those lines that'll give you a little more oomph and vitality to live with. Not literal vitality, but like HP. Pause the video here if you'd like to see the stats. Alright, so now we're on to the Priest. We have the St. Abraham's Wand first. No, it's not called the St. Abraham's, it's called the St. Abraham's Wand. It's an inside joke, you wouldn't get it. It's known as the Egg Wand fairly often because it shoots fried eggs everywhere. This is a close DPS to the T10 wand when you're around Godlands and things like that. It does not pierce, which is the saddest part, but it has the largest range of any item. It's very good at sniping certain bosses without activating them, such as the Black and Blue Dragon in the LoD, as well as Dr. Terrible, making it great for Priest solos in such dungeons. It also gives you 4 Vitality and 4 Wisdom, which aren't terribly useful if you have a high-level pet. The Tome of Purification is considered one of the most important tomes in the game if you are going to be running into a lot of status effects, considering it gets rid of all negative status effects. It has the same heal and MP cost as the Prot, which makes it a very viable option in situations that are similar. It's useful in wine cellars because of all those blue stars clipping off your arm and putting spaghetti everywhere. Very useful in pub tombs and the shatters especially. I love to use this. It's a fairly rare drop though, so good luck getting it from that manner. Now the Chasuble of Holy Light takes away good stats in a robe and replaces it with Vit. So if you don't have a pet, you can consider using it, but honestly just usually go with a Shendiet, a G-Sork, or a Mad Robe if you have it. It's not a great robe. It's similar defense to the T10, but it's good for feeding since it has 650 feed power. The ring, it's got Vit and Wiz. This is kind of a running theme with this. If you don't have a pet and you still want to use the Priest, this set can really set you ahead and help you out. But really only equip this if you need to regen some stats. Otherwise, this Priest set's kind of just good for staying back. Pause the video here if you'd like to see the stats. Okay, so now we're moving on to the Huntress set. In my opinion, this is the best UT dungeon set in the game. Now, the Coral Bow, the first item, is probably the most used bow in the game, along with the Doom Bow, and for good reason. This bow's rate of fire is 125% that of the T12 Covert Bow, and it does slightly more damage. However, it shoots only 2 shots, but they're very close together, so it makes it ideal for actually aiming, whereas with the Covert Bow, you just sort of spit vomit everywhere all over your enemies, and it sort of just dissolves them into little puddles of mush. Now, this bow's ideal for Godlands and low defense monsters, since it shoots a ton of projectiles that are relatively low damage very quickly. Its range is slightly further than the Covert at 7.8, and this bow is ideal for Godlands farming and low defense monsters. Now next we have the Coral Venom Trap. This trap provides great incentive to play the Huntress and offers much more versatility, in my opinion, for the class. This trap uses 130 MP, which is 10 less than the T6 Giant Catcher trap, and does 350 damage, which is 50 more than the Giant Catcher. Its radius is 4 tiles, making it a little bit smaller, which could be good or it could be bad depending on what you're using it in. And this trap's real selling point is the 3.5 second Paralyze, and you get a couple of little bonus stats. The Paralyze is so useful in things like tombs and bosses that you really don't want to get destroyed by. The Coral Silk, the armor of the class, has 1 less defense, but speed compared to the Hydra. It's not quite as combat focused as the Spectral, but it's very good for the Huntress and all leather classes in general, especially the Rogue, Archer, and Huntress. It also offers a +1 fame bonus, as many of these things do over the tiered items. Now the Coral Ring, I personally wouldn't recommend this on anything but a Knight, just because it gives 5 whiz, 5 speed, and maximum MP, which isn't terribly useful if you have a pet. And if you have the Coral Silk, you're already getting some speed, so it's really not necessary. It's semi-practical for people with low-level pets or Knights, but otherwise I wouldn't recommend using it. Pause the video here if you'd like to see the stats. Okay, so this has been UT class dungeon sets from Realm of the Mad God. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to be showing some gameplay footage next for each of the classes in action. If you'd like to, we'd love to see which of these class sets is your favorite. Personally, my favorite looking is the Sorcerer set, and my favorite for practical use is the Huntress set. But let us know what you think below. I hope you enjoyed, and let's roll the gameplay.
Wish that I could stay. 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 Wish for this moment to never go away. But it's all in my mind. And though I know that there is nothing to find, you're a beautiful sight in the summer night. And you can't put up a fight in the misty light. Wish that I could stay. Wish for this moment to never go away. But it's all in my mind. And though I know that there is nothing to find, you're a beautiful sight in the summer night. And you can't put up a fight in the midnight.